Don't worry, we don't want to unsettle or even intimidate you today. After all, threats from inside and outside are standard today. What is important, however, is how you deal with them. So during the next 20 to 30 minutes, we will introduce you to a tool that will help you to keep your backup. My name is Rudi Moll. I'm CEO of CuriX, and together with my colleagues, I will introduce CuriX to you, a next-generation monitoring tool. Basically, CuriX is based on the following three arrows: holistic monitoring, proactive failure analysis, and early warning, and self-healing using artificial intelligence. But let's speak the demo instead of just words.
With the use of CuriX, we form the basis for a secure and reliable operation of the IT infrastructure. The clear and automated information that I received from CuriX makes it easier for me to focus on the essentials. A proactive data center operation. We rely on the latest technologies in the SIEM and ITOM environment. CuriX enables me to fulfill my role as Chief Information Security Officer. In the security environment, CuriX supports the SIEM solutions used in our data centers.
In the CuriX software development, we transform new mathematical concepts and algorithms into product features and bring them to market maturity. The close collaboration of research and development at one location offers us the unique opportunity to combine innovative ideas with new technologies. My name is Martin Voss and I am the head of the CuriX software development. With our dedicated team, we are constantly developing CuriX further and regularly release new versions of our product. CuriX follows an universal, holistic approach and offers numerous interfaces to surrounding systems, both in proprietary and open source environments. We can also implement individual requirements at any time, for example, the connector to a customer-specific monitoring system.
In CuriX Research, we develop the most innovative solution ideas. In doing so, we combine classical mathematical methods, for example from statistics, with state-of-the-art algorithms from machine learning. My name is Uli Siebold and I'm head of research department. The close cooperation between research and development at CuriX allows us to quickly realize innovative ideas in prototypes. We then evaluate and optimize these ideas promptly in the productive environment. In this way, we can already consider customers' needs during a proof of concept to bring the latest research results directly in the field. Our excellent research team works together with a Swiss university, commissions work at universities of applied sciences and is involved in international exchange, particularly in cybersecurity topics through European research projects.
With our product CuriX, we enable you to analyze your complex IT infrastructure. We enable you to detect problems in your IT infrastructure at an early stage, for example, security issues or hardware failures before they occur. To achieve this, large numbers of data series must be analyzed. These measurement series in the order of 1,000 or 10,000 values, which we call indicators, must be evaluated and analyzed. CuriX does this all in an automated fashion and provides result data accordingly. Now, on the one hand, we can feed the results back into your existing monitoring system so that you can carry out further evaluations or create visualizations. However, with our product CuriX, we also provide a dashboard application with which we can analyze present-specific use cases. Below we present two use cases. One is our CuriX dashboard and the other is a 3D visualization that also allows you to link your business model with your technical model. I now hand over to my colleague Uli to explain the dashboard and the 3D view to you in more detail.
I will now show in the dashboard what CuriX can do for you. First of all, I will explain briefly what you can see on the retrospective part of CuriX. There are only a few diagram types because we want to make this as compact as possible for users. The bar chart shows you what kind of phenomenon CuriX has detected on each instance. The blue column, it's nice that this is the highest one, shows you on which systems no phenomena were detected. Yellow and red and also pink shows you the different severity levels of phenomenon that CuriX has detected. In the list below, in the grid where I move the mouse back and forth, we discover the machines on which CuriX has discovered recurring patterns in the past. One of them I've chosen is about a DB server in a system that we are going to show you in more detail. Specifically around the system network's out packages. And there we have seen that in the system often increased values can be observed in the time range Tuesday 3:45 until 4 in the afternoon. And we can still see that here in the white curve. We have chosen stacked bar charts to allow us to compare week by week the data involvement. So if I now go over the individual weeks, we can see here calendar week 8, which is this week. So currently we are in calendar week 8. Calendar week 7 is the previous calendar week. Calendar week 6, the calendar week before that. You can see calendar week 8 has now been very exceptional because we see evaluated values. And normally at this time, so Tuesday between 3:45 and 4, these values are at 0. And in this week, they were clearly elevated at 25 measuring points. Seeing clearly the elevation to 25 allows the system administrator to jump into the drill down and analyze exactly what was different this Tuesday from last Tuesday. In the second use case, which is limit violation prediction, we show where CuriX sees future problems. In the dashboard below, that means in the grid overview, we see predictions of upcoming threshold violations. In classic monitoring tools, you have a lot of alarms. Every time a small threshold value is exceeded somewhere, you get a mail or an alarm signal pops up. This can lead to a so-called alarm fatigue, which we want to avoid with CuriX. Therefore, we condense all the information very strongly to the essentials. In the system we see here, there are about 700 metrics CuriX is observing. Out of these 700 measurements, every 2 minutes there is actually only one that currently indicates that the problem is about to happen, namely on a server here. On that web server, we have increased I/O rates, and if we inspect the whole thing, then we see that we have an evolvement of values. You can see that up here in the upper area in the diagram. This shows a prediction of a threshold violation of an upper threshold. To observe that more precisely, I zoom in on the area that is important. And now, if I go over the forecast values, then you can clearly see that our forecast estimates around 3rd of March that the threshold violation will be possible. Like any prediction, a prediction of course includes a band of certainty, and this band of certainty we translate into warning levels. You can see that down here in the overview as well, we have different levels of warnings. For example, info and warning level. And that is reflected up here in the data. You see this corridor, the prediction, the upper bound of the prediction and the lower bound of the prediction. These 3 bounds form a corridor, the middle of which is the so-called predictive value. And the upper part of this corridor touches the threshold value, which means that we have a slight warning for third March. And this means an info forecast. The 3D model of CuriX should make it easy for the user to overview his entire IT system at a glance and also to achieve a correlation between the actual technical infrastructure and the business model. A system that is only green is boring in a demo, so we have also injected a few errors, and you can see how a problematic situation appears in the CuriX visualization. If I turn it in this way, you can see that in the 3D view we have 3 levels, like 3 floors. If we start at the bottom layer, there is a colorful point cloud at the bottom. Each point in the bottom point cloud corresponds to a measurement value that CuriX captures. On the layer above, you can see IT infrastructures, which can be servers, virtual machines, but which can also be applications. And each of these systems here corresponds to a virtual machine in our case. To show an example of a healthcare environment, you could find an application for the search of matching blood groups in a hospital. In the layer above, there are the actual business services. That is, the services that a company can offer its customers or guests. And if you drive around here, you can see that this model depicts an entire hospital system. And, for example, you could find services here such as an allergy department or a vaccination center or a maternity ward. Behind such a birth center in this example, there are of course several IT services or IT assets or IT equipment parts, which can be seen on the right side in the dashboard. So, for example, in the birthing service group, there is a service on the IT level for reporting, for the reservation of the birthing rooms, the patient database, and of course also the actual database for the reports. This is all directly linked to the IT equipment, and it can also be seen that if the IT has a problem at this point, perhaps the database is no longer functioning properly, then the actual business service can no longer function correctly, and this might have an impact to the patients or to the guests. For this demo we made sure that we have a lot of thresholds exceeded, or there are anomalies in the system. That's why this area is shown in red here. At the top, these round spheres correspond to the actual business units. At the hospital, for example, this could cover everything related to patient organization. If I click on that, then you see on the right hand side the containing services. For example, the calendar service, the actual patient registration, the electronic patient management, the accommodation, and of course also diet management and kitchen planning with diet plans. And each of those services is mapped here and monitored with CuriX. What's exciting here is, of course, the fact that we can see a very red instance here. This indicates that something is wrong. Let's go to the bottom layer inside the visualization to the original data. There we see what data was collected. We see a red colored item, which indicates that CuriX has identified something anomalous in the system. Now I'm going to go to this machine here that's telling us something is not quite right. And now we can see that this ATT machine, which we have seen flying into the picture here, is currently not providing us with any data. That means it is not even monitored by CuriX. And now with 3 clicks in a very comprehensive system, we have already identified a problem and know that the machine is not supplying any data. Compared to other detection options and diagnostic systems, this is of course an insane acceleration, since you get to the root cause of the problem very fast. The idea of this 3D view is, of course, that it runs permanently on a large screen and you don't have to click around with the mouse, and that's why there is a so-called auto travel mode in the 3D view that ensures that the system that currently either have a lot of anomalies or no data or other problems are automatically brought into focus, as this is the case here. And one after the other, the user sees directly, for example, that the backup server has a problem since the anomaly detection currently is not connected. Such things one sees then directly in the 3D view. By navigating back to the top of the view, you can see the red marble is now indicating that the whole business area is affected by some IT issues. This business area is connected to 3 services. For example, the data collection. You can see that the data collection is not working at all at the moment. And you can go to one of the 3 machines. This was now my second click, and I see directly after 2 or 3 clicks that an entire machine here does not provide any reasonable data. And so I can find problems in a huge complex system with a few clicks. Thank you very much, and now I hand back to Martin.
Thank you, Uli, for your explanations about the dashboard and the 3D visualization. As you can see, we can process the most complex data streams and relationships in your system and visualize them for you. CuriX can help you to avoid possible failures or security problems in the future. The powerful combination of detection and failure mitigation makes your infrastructure more resilient. Thank you for your attention, and if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact us at any time.
I would like to summarize the 3 core elements of CuriX again: holistic monitoring and cybersecurity, proactive fault analysis, self-healing by means of artificial intelligence. So CuriX has your back. At the same time, it increases the performance of your IT, reduces risk, and thus also reduces costs. Contact and test us. Maybe you can get started with the security health check we offer. Either way, we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for your attention.